Okay, product. Products rule. Okay, when you say product in Max, what do you mean by product? Okay, when you want to use products rule, one very important thing that you have to remember, for product of how many function? 2 function only. Okay, 2 function only. If more than 2 function, you have to think of a way to simplify it. Like I give you an example. If I give you so if I give you y is equal to 3x squared minus 5 times e to the power of x. And this to the power of, okay, if I go like that. So what you need to do, there are 3 functions here. One here, another one here, and another one here. So this is a product of 3 functions. You cannot. So you have to simplify it. So I have to make it, if it's a number, if you don't want to be included in the function, it's fine. You can just leave it outside. Okay, for this one, I just bring it in. So this will be my 3x cubed minus 15x, close, e to the power x. So now I have the product of 2 functions. Understand? At the beginning is 3. So now it's a product of 2 functions. So the one in front, we name this function as u. The one at the back, we name this function as v. Okay? So are you clear? So the first thing is you make sure you make it to 2 functions. Let one of the function be u, another function be v. Why we put the front one u and the back v? Have you ever asked? Because you go by alphabetical order. That is how people do things. Am I right? You don't simply do. Am I right? Alphabetical order. If I want to do it the other way around, can or not? Do I have the freedom to do that? The answer is a yes, because product is commutative. A times B is the same as B times A. Only for product, it's commutative. That means you can interchange. 2 times 5 is the same as 5 times 2. This rule only applies to product. That's called commutative, means you can change the position. Same go with plus. Am I right? 3 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 3. They are commutative. So that's why product is related to addition. Am I right? Repeated addition is called multiplication. So these are the basic things that we have to learn in maths. Have you ever heard of this commutative law? You see, they are very scared to introduce you with the term. I learned this when I was in Form 1. We have to know what is commutative law. We have to know which operation fulfill commutative law. Okay. So now, so I give you the freedom for product only. Okay, now, so in order to find the dy dx for this one, we are going to use the product rule given by the mathematician. Okay, so you have to know what is a product rule. So product rule means if I want to find the rate of change of this function, okay, I have to use function v times by the rate of change of function u plus multiplication always relate to addition. Function u multiplied by the derivative of function v. So this is the rule. So now your job is to put it in, substitute in. Okay, if you are the first time learn this formula, what I will encourage you is, okay, do write down this. Okay, my u is 3x cubed minus 15x. So I get my u prime first, and I put in the bracket. That is the safest. Okay, because after that I have to substitute into here. In more than one term, you better put in the bracket. So now, can you please find u prime? Yeah, so multiply by the power take away 1. That's why you must learn simple rule first. If not, you cannot go to product rule. Am I right? So this is 9x squared minus 15. And I bracket this up. Okay, then I write down my v, which is e to the power of x. Yeah. So v prime is equal to, when you have an exponential term, you find the rate of change, you just copy down the whole thing. Remember, you have to multiply by the rate of change of the power, whereby in this case is 1. And from now onward, I don't write. Is it okay? Okay. So now what you need to do, if you have this in hand, you have the visual, then you can substitute in. Actually, you just need to do like that. Am I right? E to the power x, this is your v, times by u prime. Plus v u, that is 3x squared minus 15x. And times by v prime. Then you are done. And this one can be factorized, can be simplified. I will not continue from here. Okay, I will do it afterward. Okay, now I want to let you know, those who are very familiar with this formula already, what you can do, you can straight away write down this answer without this working. It's fine. And the way I remember this formula is like that. I call this front, I call this back. Differentiate the front times by the back, plus differentiate the back times by the front. That is how I memorize formula. I don't memorize by u and v. Are you okay? You put in your mind, oh, I differentiate the front, I put in the bracket times by the back, plus. Okay, differentiate the back times by the front. So, done. So you go by the position. So you don't have to memorize u v prime plus v u prime plus u v prime. Are you clear? Okay, any question? Any question? Is there any question so far? So you think if I have a choice, do I want to use product rule? It's such a complicated rule. Am I right? So many things to do. So that's why if you want to be good in calculus, you have to ask yourself, first question. What is the first question? Any function given to you, what is the first question you must ask? Can it be simplified? Simplified, there are many ways of doing it. Are you clear? There are many ways of doing simplification. So you have to master how to simplify a given function to you. Then second question, after you simplify it, huh? You know what is it? Yes. Can it be differentiated with simple rule? How many simple rule have we learned? You have to recognize whether it's a power term, whether it's an exponential term, and whether it's a natural log term. Correct? So there are three. So if simple rule can't work, the next question I'm going to ask myself, yes, young man? You see? After simple rule is? Yes. You see, you are not listening. Am I right? It's not easy to be a teacher, huh? I'm telling you. I have to look at you. I have to think of what I want to say. I have to think of what I want to write. Okay. If simple rule can't apply, then I will say, is there a chance for me to use chain rule? But I have to know what form can use chain rule. It's a number times by a function power n. The function inside the bracket can be any form. Can be power term, can be exponential term, can be what? Natural log. Correct? We have seen that, correct? Okay. So if all these cannot be done, so I have to look at the function given to me. Is it a product of two functions? If it's a product of two functions, then I apply product rule. That is how is your thought. Okay? So now, can you please do this question given to you using product rule? Yesterday, we didn't use product rule, correct? So now, today, you use product rule. I want to let you know how difficult product rule is. Okay? Okay, so this one, I will write down U is X. V is 1 minus X to the power half. Okay? So I differentiate. I find the rate of change of X, that is 1. I find the rate of change of V, that is multiply by the power, copy down the whole thing, power take away 1, time by the rate of change of whatever in the bracket, that is negative 1. Yeah, so this is negative 1 over 2 square root of 1 minus X. Okay? Am I right? So why I want to write it this form? Because later I need to simplify. So my U F prime X will be equal to V U prime. Yeah. So that is square root of 1 minus X. I put in the bracket. Time by U prime is 1. Plus this way around x times -1 over 2 square root of 1 minus x. Okay, so listen here. When you want to simplify, this is a fraction, right? When you want to simplify a fraction, a over b, so you remember this so that you can do it fast. A over b plus c over d. Okay, so I cross and write down AD plus CB divided by BD. Are you clear? So this is something. So your mind straight away work in that. So this is, okay, 2 times square root of 1 minus x times square root of 1 minus x. So I have square root times square root is whatever in the square root. So that is how you work in your mind. Are you clear? So this is 2, 1 minus x. So those who can do fast in simplify this is because you work in your mind in that way already. So take away, because this is a plus x. Okay, so 1. So take away x. The whole thing divide by 1 times this, which is 2 square root of 1 minus x. Are you clear? Okay, so this will be equal to 2 minus 3x over 2 2 minus 3x over 2 square root of 1 minus x. Are you clear? Okay, so this is a product rule you have to train. Like this one, for this one, you can factorize. You can take out the common factor. Okay, so that one I will not do it. So I'm going to introduce you another rule. Okay. If you are given a function like this, okay, if you are given a function like this, is it a product? Is it a product? No. So we have to use quotient rule. Quotient means divide. And it's also the quotient of two functions. The top, I call it U. The bottom, I call it V. Okay, so now, can I add something so that I get it right? About the quotient rule. Quotient rule is about. So now, if I give you like that, they are all together. What should you do to the top? Yes, I have to simplify it first. So this is the first thing that you have to do. So we go by alphabetical order also. Whatever on top, we call it U. Whatever function at the bottom, you call it V. Are you clear? So your U is e to the power of 4x. The V, that is the bottom, is ln 1 minus x. So my advice is never ever change the quotient to become product. Who has that habit? Please kick off that habit. Okay. Then the way to get dy dx or rate of change of this function, it will go like that. Quotient, you cannot change the order. Are you clear? differentiate the top times by the bottom. Take away, differentiate the bottom times by the top. The whole thing over bottom square. You see or not? That is how I memorize the formula. Okay? So now, can you please differentiate this and try to put it in there? Everyone, differentiate that. So quotient rule, also the quotient of two functions. Huh? Yes, young lady, please move. You're supposed to find u prime, supposed to find v prime, and substitute into the formula. Okay, huh? So I'm going to do step by step. U prime. What is u prime? What is the rate of change of e to the power of 4x? Young ladies, right at the back there, can you tell me? Hello? Yep. What is the rate of change of e to the power of 4x? Yes, the one behind. Are you Jeremy? Ah, the one behind Jeremy, young lady there, please. Give me the answer. Okay, when I ask you a question, you don't want to answer me, that is your choice. Okay, so exponential term, I can say it 101 times. Okay, you yourself have to remember it, correct? So it will be copy down the whole thing. Copy down the whole thing. Times by the rate of change of the power, that is 4x, is 4, correct? So if you want to make it look more comfortable, you write it like that. Are you okay? Then when you differentiate, when you find the rate of change of long term, we always get ready and fill in the blank. Am I right? So this is 1 minus x over time by negative 1. Am I right? So if you don't want the negative to disturb you, so you have a choice. So now you have a choice to write this as 1 over x minus 1. Do you get me? So it's up to individual. Okay. So now I'm ready. Everything, I put it nicely ready. I fill in the blank according to this formula. Okay. V is ln 1 minus x. And I will prefer to bracket it up. U prime 4e to the power of 4x. Close. Take away u. And this v prime is 1 over x minus 1. The whole thing divided by bottom square. I put another bracket. See or not? Okay. So this is a fraction. And this fraction, whatever I can do is, I can factorize out e to the power of 4x. Common factor. So I factorize out e to the power of 4x. So I left with 4 ln 1 minus x, take away 1 over x minus 1, close, times by 1 over ln 1 minus x, the whole thing squared. So how am I going to simplify this? Same story again, am I right? For fraction. So the whole thing can be simplified as e to the power of 4x, open bracket, 4x minus 1 times ln 1 minus x minus 1. The whole thing divided by x minus 1 times by ln 1 minus x, the whole thing squared. Are you clear? So you just patiently write down. That's it. So max is like that. There is a lot of things to write, so you just write carefully. So the whole thing about how to find the rate of change for a given function, done. So you have to learn how to recognize. So ask the question in that sequence. So exam, what am I going to ask you? How am I going to ask you? You can go and have a look at practice tests in times. You see all the practice tests, correct? You see question 1 will be the question that I ask you all about the rules. You can see all sorts of functions there. Are you clear? So the whole chapter 2, the whole exercise in chapter 2 is yours. Are you clear? So you have to take time to practice. So next week onward, if you have any question from the exercise, you can anytime ask in the class. Are you clear? The only exercise that you don't have to do, if you open your chapter 2, you tell me which exercise you don't have to do. That is not included in your SAT1. Do you have your textbook with you? Open your textbook, please. Yeah, may I know which one? Trigonometry function. So trigonometry function is not included in SAT1. It will be in SAT4. Can you please write in that exercise SAT4? So can I not? So this weekend, please take some time to go through the question. If you still got problem with that, then we will discuss through it one by one. If you can finish your textbook exercise and go to the practice test, is good enough to prepare yourself for the SAT1. So you have to work hard. Are you clear? Memorize all the way to simplify. Hello? Before you go, look here. If I say given y equal to ln 5 over 1 minus x squared. What rule to use? What rule to use? Find dy dx. What rule to use? You see how your high school teacher toxic you? What rule to use? What rule to use? Yes, young man. What rule to use? Yeah, why you simplify it? How you simplify it? Okay, first thing when you look at this function, first thing what you look? Ln. How do you see ln 5? S. A number. So if I have a number divided by something, does it mean that every time when I see fraction, I go quotient rule? No. If up there is a number, so a number times by 1 minus x to the power -2. This is a fx to the power of -2. Should I use quotient rule? No. So that is what I mean. Always remember, observe the function given to you. It saves you a lot of time. Same thing also, if you stay focused in class, you save a lot of your time. You don't have to relearn. You don't have to watch the video again. Are you clear? So this one, I can straight away find the dy dx by using chain rule. That is the number multiplied by the power, copy down the whole thing, power take away 1, time by the differentiation of the rate of change of whatever in the bracket, that is -1. Am I right? So I'm done. So please, I keep stretching on that is because I can say this 1,001 times, but during the exam, my students still, that's why they say they cannot finish the paper. You see or not? A simple thought at the beginning, it saves a lot of your time. So what you put inside your mind is very important. Okay, class? Okay, thank you, class. You can adjourn out. I have another class here, okay? Yeah, thank you. Thank you, those online.